Hello, you post-festive bastards. Well, Christmas is gone for another year, so now we're in a dark period between post-Christmas and pre-New Year. And while it's still technically the holiday season, I'm still obligated to review a Christmas movie. And the perfect film for this occasion is the 2023 comedy drama, The Holdovers. Released in October 2023, The Holdovers sets its story in the 1970s and revolves around a troubled teen, Angus Tully, played by Dominic Tessa, and his school friends forced to stay at his boarding school throughout the Christmas holidays by their much reviled curmudgeon of a teacher, Paul Hunnam, played by Paul Giamatti, in order to improve their grades. But then the parents of the students talk Paul into allowing them to go home, all except for Angus, whose mother is on vacation with her new boyfriend.
What a pisser.
So Angus is now stuck with Paul and cafeteria lady Mary Lamb, played by Devon Joyle Randolph, who is grieving the loss of her son. The Holdovers is fucking great, and from a film directed by Alexander Payne, the same guy who did Sideways, and starring Paul Giamatti, I expected no less. The old school style of filmmaking, the winter scenery, makes this a very laid back watch. Payne never goes out of his way to be quirky with his style. He keeps it simple, trusting the audience to absorb everything and get to know our characters. The actors do well, presenting these very flawed people stuck with each other. Devon Joyle Randolph is very likeable as grieving Mother Mary, and she really makes you feel the grief and pain she's going through. She's strong-willed and ends up being a great contrast to the more uptight Hunnam, and I like the fact they do actually get on, and their friendship does feel genuine. She's also more grounded and ends up being the voice of reason amongst Angus's belligerence and Hunnam's grouchiness. Dominic Tessa does a great job playing this brat with a penchant for lying and stealing, yet still somehow manages to be sympathetic, showing that despite his belligerence, he still has a good heart, which becomes apparent as he spends more time with Hunnam. Speaking of which, Paul Giamatti once again gives another great performance as the uptight, stubborn Paul Hunnam. He's a man who tries to be the moral backbone in a school that happily gives out passable grades to undeserving students due to their fathers being wealthy contributors, but he also has his insecurities. He drinks, he's snobby, he constantly rubs people the wrong way, he has medical problems that causes him to stink, and he's also full of regrets that have allowed him to become bitter, pondering a wasted life he had a lot of potential for. He yearns for some connection in the world, but the world is alien to him, and whereas his boss is one of his former students.
You must be so embarrassed!
But like Angus, he never comes across as unlikable. He shows he does want these kids to grow up to be decent men who can achieve a lot without resorting to nepotism. And it's these hang-ups that help our three clashing personalities give this film heart. These are people who would rather be somewhere else for Christmas but are stuck with each other, but it's their differences that help each other. We also see that Hunnam sees Angus is more than just some privileged, spoilt, entitled kid, but he also sees he's someone who is badly in need of guidance, especially from the people who should be guarding him. And through this, Hunnam sees he and Angus may not be so different, like this scene after Angus tries to connect with his mentally ill father.
I find the world a bitter and complicated place, and it seems to feel the same way about me. I think you and I have this in common.
Hell, even Angus learns that Hunnam may not be the most moral upstanding guy he makes himself out to be, but that's what makes these characters so relatable and honest. Also, Paul Giamatti does get some fucking good one-liners.
You did this to yourself, Hunnam, not me. I want you to remember that.
Hardy, I have known you since you were a boy, so I think I have the requisite experience and insight to aver that you are and always have been penis cancer in human form.
The supporting actors do well. Kerry Preston is very likeable as Miss Crane, and Andrew Garfield is hilariously punchable as smug headmaster Dr. Woodrup, and there is so much more I would love to deep dive into, and right now I don't want to spoil too much just yet. In fact, I might do a live stream on this next year. But for now, I would definitely check this out. We're nearly halfway through the decade, and this has to be one of the best films to come out in the last 4 to 5 years. It's simple, yet complex, consistently written, tragic, yet uplifting.
This one's very, very good.
Oh, is it?
Yes. You'll laugh, you'll cry, it'll change your life.
And while this year has once again had its fair share of catastrophes of human failings, and moments that made me wonder what the fuck I was watching, like whatever the fuck this was supposed to be, I still have hope for next year after hearing stuff like this. Because I have a feeling that the quality of our movies, TV series and games are going to be a great return to form. fuck. And whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for watching, and do remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that bell in order to be notified. And if you wish to further support this channel, then the links are in the description below. But right now, that's me done, and I'm off to the pub. Happy New Year, you beautiful bastards.